Being a small football club in 2023 isn't easy. With the biggest clubs spending hundreds of millions to sign the world's best players, could you still have success as the world's poorest club? So today, I tried to manage the world's poorest club on FIFA to a major trophy. So after opening career mode, we chose to manage UCD, who have the lowest transfer budget in all of FIFA. And our goal? Deliver their first ever Premier Division title with no financial takeover and a transfer budget of just €750,000. So after jumping into the game, we saw our team, and yeah, it wasn't great. And with pretty much no money to spend on players, winning the league was gonna be tough. So instead of trying to buy players, we turned to free agents on the transfer market. And after spending some time negotiating, we had 5 new signings. And one of these happened to be a player called Charles Andreas Brim. And he would prove to be one of our most important signings later in the season. So with 5 new players, this was our improved team. But now it was finally time for our first game of the season. And even though it was only a pre-season tournament, winning it would give us some valuable funds for our team.
Great to be with you.
And things couldn't have gotten off to a better start.
Come on, Brim, please finish this. Yes! First goal of the season with our new signing, Brim.
And with us 1-0 up, we got an unexpected penalty.
Oh, we got a penalty. Rooney. Come on, left. Yes, what a finish. That's 2 for Brim.
But even after Drogheda managed to pull one back,
Oh my God, what a goal.
we finished our first game with a win.
The referee blows for full time.
So 1 game down, we put ourselves in the perfect position to win the prize money. But we ended up losing our next game and conceding a late equaliser to Shelburne in our final game, meaning we walked away from the pre-season tournament with nothing. So with no sign of us signing any extra players to the squad, we kicked off our first game of the season.
They'll certainly need to get off to a decent start.
And things started off less than ideal.
Can he find the net?
This keeper could not catch a cold. Oh yes, what a ball. Pass it, finish, yes! It should not have been that tough to score a goal.
So with the scores all level, we had one last attempt in stoppage time.
Finish it, put it in the goal.
And with the game ending 1-1, we headed back to the league table with just 1 point. So with a less than perfect start to the season, our next game against bottom of the table Sligo Rovers seemed like the perfect place to pick up some points. And even though both teams looked like scoring early on, it was Sligo that scored first.
Goal! The opening statement of the match.
But even with our best attempts to find an equaliser, we took no points from the game and found ourselves in 7th place on the table. Our 3rd game of the season saw us take on 2nd place Bohemian FC, and this game was our biggest test yet.
We've got to win this game.
And we were pretty unlucky not to score early on.
Hey, Brim, he's through already. Oh my days, man. Even I score that. Maybe.
But it was the Bohemians that found the net first.
Oh no, not like this.
Eventually though, we found an equaliser.
Brim, don't miss again. Yes!
And our keeper was doing everything to keep the scores level too.
Bro, he's keeping us in this.
62 minutes into the game, Bohemians found the net with one of the worst FIFA goals you'll ever see. Which also meant they took the 3 points back to the table. Now 3 games without a win, our title hopes were already looking pretty bad.
Something's gotta change fast.
So we made sure to take the points in our next game against Dundalk with a 2-0 win. So with things starting to look up, we faced up against reigning champions Shamrock Rovers, but we missed out on any points again after a narrow 1-0 loss. Brim took us back to winning ways though with a last-minute winner against Finn Harps. Now with 2 wins, we were pushed up to 4th place on the table, and 6 games into the season, not everything seemed so bad. Our next game against Derry also saw Brim become one of the League of Ireland's most clutch players, scoring another 90th minute goal. Now with some momentum though, we went ahead and secured 7 points in our next 3 games.
Must be. Yes. And a goal to
Come
level it
on.
up.
But we were still sitting 4th on the league table, although our next game saw us take on top of the table Bohemians again, and if we got a result we could close the gap. And while we narrowly avoided conceding early on, it wasn't long before they opened the scoring. We did manage to rescue a point from the game though with a late equaliser from Higgins.
This is it.
And in with a real chance.
And after only taking 1 point, we were still stuck in 4th place. With our second round of fixtures well underway, we still struggled to find any consistency, with us dropping points to Sligo Rovers. Our next 3 games saw us finally hit form though, and with Brim netting 5 times, we took 9 points out of 9 and finally were pushed up to 3rd place. So now with Brim being the league's top goal scorer, it seemed like we were finally on track to challenge for the title. Now we faced up against Derry City, who were sitting in 9th place. And it didn't take long for Brim to find himself in on goal, but he missed. So without taking our chances, Derry City ended up taking the lead. And with an off-form Brim in front of goal, Derry scored a second to finish us off. So even though we were in 3rd place, we were still 8 points off the top and now had Dundalk closing the gap behind us. Now we faced up against Finn Harps, but without finding the net, we drew 0-0 before facing our toughest opponents, Shamrock Rovers, again. And we had the majority of the chances from early in the game.
Yes, this is it. This is the chance.
But Shamrock Rovers started to find a way back into the game. Just 9 minutes before the half, Brim found Higgins at the edge of the box.
Yes!
And things started to look up for us until Shamrock Rovers equalised.
No.
Having gone without a goal in 2 games though, Brim found himself through on the hour mark.
Yes! That's what we needed.
And with us grabbing the winner, we drew level on points with Rovers on the table. At the halfway point of the season, we found ourselves 10 points off the top, and with our team finally beginning to cook, we took some massive points in our next games, including a close 1-0 win over the Bohemians before scoring 8 goals in our next 2 games with Brim on fire in front of goal. And after Brim picked up 2 match balls, we sat just 2 points off the top with 14 games left. We kept the pressure on Bohemians in our next games and picked up 6 points to push us to 1st place on the table for the first time. But our next game didn't exactly go to plan, with us slipping up and only getting a draw against Sligo Rovers. And while we easily saw off Shelbourne 4-0, a 2-0 loss to Shamrock Rovers meant we only took 4 points from a possible 9, although we still found ourselves in 1st place. We managed to bounce back in our next game, putting 5 past Dundalk, but our game after saw us face up against the Bohemians for the last time this season.
And with only 2 points between us, this could be the game that decides the league. Let's not lose.
26 minutes in, we had a big chance.
Okay, play the ball. Finish it. Oh, he's offside.
But 10 minutes into the second half, we conceded a corner.
Oh my days.
And with the Bows 1-0 up, they would go 1 point clear of us if we didn't find a way back into the game.
If anyone can save us now, it's gotta be Brim.
It had to be Brim to find himself through though.
Finish this. Yes! I said it, if anyone was gonna save us, it had to be Brim.
So with no sign of any more goals, the game ended level.
It's done. And the game ends 1-1. That means we are still 2 points clear on the table.
And with 29 games gone, we were cutting things close, which also means it's time to hear from today's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is a global men's lifestyle brand that's trusted by over 9 million men worldwide for their trimmers, boxers, and lotions. And their Performance Package 4.0 is perfect when it comes to the ultimate men's grooming bundle. They sent me over 2 razors, including the Lawnmower 4.0 and Weed Whacker 2.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 even has an LED light on it when you need more precision, just like Brim in front of goal. They even threw in 2 lotions, boxers, and a travel bag, and you can get all this for 20% off and free international shipping when you use my promo code DavidMC at checkout. With 7 games to go and only 2 points clear, we couldn't afford to drop any more points. Our 30th game of the season saw Brim net twice in a 2-1 win against Shelbourne, before we faced 7th place St. Pat's. So with the title race heating up, any points lost could cost us the title. In our 5th last game of the season, we ended up conceding 4 goals to St. Pat's, and while Brim pulled 2 back before the end, we dropped some valuable points in the title race. So after putting 4 past Derry, we ended up only taking 1 point in our next 2 games after drawing with Sligo and taking a 2-0 loss against Drogheda. With 2 games to go, we sat 3 points clear in 1st place.
The crux of the matter is a league title beckons.
So with our second last game of the season being against Finn Harps, we had to win to ensure our title hopes didn't slip. And after one final masterclass from Brim, we were all but guaranteed the title in our next game. So we are down to our final game of the season, and any result means we lift the trophy. So it was time for kickoff, and even though the title was ours, we still wanted to end the season off strong, and it didn't take long for Brim to give us one last goal.
Brim, yes! Come on Norris, pass this, finish it, yes! We are 45 minutes away from lifting the title.
And we gave Shamrock Rovers no sight of goal all game in one of our best performances of the season, which sealed us the title.
Finish it, yes! And that's gonna give us the title.
And after everything was done, we delivered the first title ever to the world's poorest team on FIFA.